All right, everybody, welcome out to another episode of Windshield Time at Mountain Land Supply. I'm Joey. I'm joined by Spencer, the man of all sorts. Shorts?
Shorts.
Short shorts.
Short shorts.
Who wears them? Spencer.
I'm going to slaughter your last name, Drew, if I try and say it.
Geisick.
I was going to say Geisick,
Yep.
so that was
the E and the I thing
that was
doesn't
a
make
jerk
sense.
move
But
already.
yeah.
So we're joined by Drew Geisick.
Yep.
And Brian Greig.
That's a hard one to slaughter.
It is. It is. You know what? I bet you get Greig a lot, though.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do.
I get Lytle a lot, or Lidley, which Lidley sounds good.
Right.
It's French, you know.
Sounds
Little-
important.
You're trying to spice it up, Joe Dirt.
yeah.
Joe Dirte. Yeah, exactly. Lidley. So, thank you guys for coming on. Drew actually reached out to me a few weeks ago, and he had a topic he wanted to talk about. So he reached out to me on Instagram and said, "Hey, you mind if I come on?" And I said, "You're actually volunteering to come on and do
I
this?"
Now with
Yes,
this
please.
Setup. It's like, oh,
I bit off more than you want to chew. No, but Drew wanted to talk about suicide awareness and mental health because September is Suicide Awareness Month.
it is.
And I think most of us in our lives have been touched by somebody who's having, you know, some troubles in their life and have some mental health things that they're working on. And I think it's a useful thing for us to talk about.
Sure.
So thanks for volunteering.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
then Brian was voluntold
Yes.
by Drew to come on.
And I was like, you want me to come and talk about my weaknesses? And
Right. And yeah.
I'll diffuse it with humor, but we can try it.
Can we not? Yeah.
And it really started back with I became friends with Patsy Coates on Facebook, and she had seen some things and was like, "This would be a really cool topic. You should reach out to Joey." And I'm like, I don't know. So
Yeah.
I pondered a few months, if
Yeah.
not more, before I'm like, yeah,
It's never easy to talk about things that are so
Right.
personal, you know, and especially like you said, you know, a lot of people look at it as a weakness, you know, but you know, all of us have different things we're going through life, and you wouldn't let an open wound on your arm go untreated.
right,
The same thing goes for mental health. Why would you allow that to go untreated if you have options?
exactly.
So I think the stigma's going away a little bit, but there's still some generational stuff there where people will
Right.
look at it as, you know, it's a you problem, not an environment
Right.
problem, whatever.
I like to compare it to going to the gym, although we can't always see the results in somebody. When somebody goes to the gym and they're healthy and they're fit, you can tell. You can look at them and you can you can tell. When somebody works on their mental health, you can tell, but you don't know it because you just see them as a happy, healthy person.
Sure.
Right.
But that happy and healthy person, more than likely, has put a lot of work in to get there.
Yeah.
It's not handed to us. It takes effort, just like going to the gym does.
Exactly. Yeah, and a lot of people mask it, you know, and they're really good at masking it for a long time until they're not.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that I've been caught in that before, where you just, you know, especially as men, you know, you try and be that protector, you try and be the provider, and we were talking about this earlier, saying yes too much,
Sure.
right? And you say yes enough that everybody sees you as the person who's going to get it done for them.
Right.
And I remember a few years ago, I was, my mom, it was her birthday, and we were trying to put a deck on the back of her house because that's what she wanted. Usually it's sweat equity that she wants when, you know, a birthday rolls around, you know, person who has everything, build something for them. You
That's
know?
fair.
So they see me as a person who's resourceful and has, you know, the ability to do some things. So I ended up having to kind of head up the construction project of it. And I got overwhelmed real quick. A lot of stuff at work hit at the same exact time. And I reached a breaking point to where I was like, I'm checking out of this one, guys. Someone else can come and lift. And the cool thing is that when you say that and you admit that, most oftentimes somebody's like, dude, why don't you just say something?
Right.
I'm here for you. So my brother-in-law came over. He helped me frame it out. And it ended up being a really cool project for our whole family. But I was kind of robbing them of that by trying to do it all by myself too. So.
Well, Drew and I had this conversation this morning about comfortably being able to say no on the way here.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do, especially my love language is I like to give. I want to help. I want
act of service.
I want to do that. So to say no, I feel bad about myself doing it.
Yeah.
And then you get the shame and the guilt and the fear, the same thing that everybody else has, but we're afraid to tell. I don't want to call Drew and say, hey, Drew, I'm hurting today.
Yeah.
Right.
And I may not have to. It might be a simple text from Drew. Hey, just thinking of you.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm back on track.
Yeah.
Right.
And mental health is it is effort. It takes work. And I know at Mountainland, I get told this a lot. You're always smiling. You're always happy, Brian. You're always in a good mood. And for the most part, I am, but I am human. I still do have
For sure.
fear and guilt and anxiety and worries. And the way that I eliminate some of that is by working on being happy. I don't want to be unhappy. I've been there. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
I've been worried and scared, and I don't like any of those feelings. And so to not have them, it takes effort for me to not have those things.
Mm-hmm.
So when people always tell me I'm happy, I'm like, man, if they knew Drew or my wife or some of my close friends, they would go, oh, he is human.
Yeah.
He's just a normal guy.
Right.
And a lot of times when you're that guy, you feel like you got to bring the circus all the time.
There's pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's pressure to always be in a good mood.
Yeah.
And that's a good pressure to have because it will force me some days when I let negative thoughts creep in to go, that's not worth it.
It's not me.
I'm not going to put that energy into it. It's not
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah. That's very true.
Right. And I think, as a survivor of this topic, it's led me kind of to like part of my why.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I've heard that since when I started here at Mountainland is
Yeah.
why do you do what you do? And part of it is now like that stigma is getting a lot better.
Yeah.
It's still uncomfortable
Sure.
to reach out, but something like Brian said, just simply reaching out to a friend or a family member and just letting them know that you care and that you're there for them, like you can change their trajectory
Yeah.
completely by just something very simple like that.
Yeah.
And Mountainland's helped me with my mental health for sure.
Good.
Just the environment that we have here, the culture that we have and our core values, it's been a really good place to be at.
Well, that's awesome.
And yeah, I just want that message to be out there that like it's okay not to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put the work in, there's always light there at the end of the tunnel. And
that's
people
awesome.
care about you more than you may think they do.
It's true. But a lot of times they need the opportunity to help you.
Right.
And if we don't ask for it, most oftentimes we won't get it.
Right.
Yeah. There's, as far as like, not avoiding, but understanding the things that, trigger you or the things that can, send you down a path you don't want to go. What's that like since you're kind of going through your journey?
So this was, this event, it happened 5 years ago and it's still a process, but I'm like genuinely happy now. And but it took work, right? There's not a magic pill that you can take. There's medication for all sorts of stuff, but
Sure.
you have to be willing to put the work in. And it becomes a lot easier when you learn to love yourself and know that people around you love you. And those triggers and that kind of stuff slowly start to just dissipate away.
Yeah.
And then you stack good days on top of good days and you get to a place where you're like, I'm, proud of myself. I'm proud of where I've gone and what I've done, what I've gone through and where it's led me.
Yeah.
I have a saying that sticks with me all the time is the conclusion of the soul is to keep moving forward in life and not be defined by any one circumstance. So I can't say enough how much the coworkers and leaders at Mountainland have helped me too by listening to me, and just the culture overall has just been an incredible place to be. So
Yeah, I agree. I think that if I'm having a rough time, there's always somebody around here that can help lift you up a little bit, or take away some of the burden, or take away some of the work, so that you can focus on something else that's bringing you down or whatever it may be. But it's a pretty special place, and I think it's important to stop and recognize that.
Right.
I was watching you've probably seen the same video. There's a guy who on Instagram, he's saying that there's, people when they talk to themselves are so damn rude to themselves.
Yep.
And you say things to yourself in your mind and sometimes even out loud that you would never say to somebody else.
Exactly.
And words have energy. Words have power. And the more you talk that way to yourself, how could you help but not feel bad about, your performance or your output?
Right.
And so positively talking to yourself and telling yourself, you know what, you got this, you got this, you can do this. I think there's a lot that goes, that comes from that.
It does. You can't let that inner critic be louder than like that inner cheerleader. Like you've got to be self-confident in yourself and know that you're doing all that you can, even if it's not where you want to be right now. If you keep being positive and Brian's helped me so much with a lot of the positivity. And just like we were talking, like people see him and he's always happy.
Yeah.
He comes across as does he have times where he's upset and stuff? Yeah, we all do.
Sure.
But people know him for how he is around everybody here. And it's helped me learn to, be that way towards myself and other people too. So
I think where it gets unrealistic is we compare. That is human nature.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
We see people that are happy and we think, that person's always happy. How are they doing? And there's no way I can ever pull that off because I have fear and guilt and shame and all of these internal lack of self-confidence and worthiness. And I would believe, because I think there's probably more people listening than just your mom, although that is a thing.
She's not even listening anymore.
No, she's not even on
lost her
anymore. She got bored.
Yeah.
Everybody listening can relate. And we can't compare what was a big deal to me or things that pushed me to my breaking points and challenges and hard times where I didn't feel like I wanted to be around anymore. I thought, who's going to listen to that? This is not a big deal to somebody else.
Yeah.
And it may not be. But their challenges may not be a big deal to me. I may not fully understand them.
Right.
And so we got to quit comparing what's hard for me versus somebody else.
Totally.
And what every person listening, where I've started with this, is they can relate. Every single person listening can relate to this. Now, they may not admit it to themselves right away, but in an hour or two, they might go,
yeah, right.
that might have applied to me a little bit.
Yeah. The comparison game is so bad. Especially when in the world of social media, you look out and you see all these happy people, successful people. By and large, that isn't real.
They have the same feelings I have.
They have the same feelings of inadequacy. They have the same fears. They have the same.
They have made mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
They have hurt other people.
Yeah.
And now we gotta work through that.
You gotta find a way through it.
Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of times, a lot of people talk about the generational gap. That the older generation doesn't necessarily understand what the younger generation's going through. And I don't know that it's that. I think it's a matter of they have experience and they're impatient. So they've been through a lot of the things we're going through.
Sure.
And they don't necessarily have patience to walk through that road again because they're like, man, I already went there. I don't want to go back there.
Right.
In that generation, they didn't talk about those things, but it came out in other ways. It came out in alcohol and anger and
suppressed it.
It still came out.
Yep.
It didn't come out in healthy ways.
No.
So we have opportunities now to deal with things in healthy ways. And one of them is doing what we're doing right now and just saying, I struggle too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have my weak moments. I get scared.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard. It's hard to say that.
It is. It's way hard. And I do a lot of branch visits, in my position, and I have for a lot of years in the different positions that I've done. And I always feel pressure to bring the circus.
Sure.
Like, man,
Joey's coming. It's got to be a good
They're
time.
looking for Joey to be, up. And there's some days when you just don't feel it.
Nope.
And you just gotta dig deep and find some little nugget.
Are you there right now?
Not right now.
Okay, good.
Not right now. No, today I love doing these. These are fun. I get to hang out with Shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he brightens my life. He really does. But I think as I go out to our different branches, like you were talking about the culture, just seeing them be kind to one another. That's what lifts me up.
How uplifting is this place? That is one of and Drew touched on it a minute ago. The help that we have here. I could come to you today, Joey, and tell you I got a problem.
Yeah.
And you would listen to it and help me figure out how to take care of it. And you're one of 1,000 other people here at Mountain Land that do that. And so when I get told I'm happy and in a good mood, I really am genuinely in a good place. This is a good place to be. Well, I'm surrounded by people I trust.
At the end of the day, it's like, man, I have so much more to be grateful for than the things that I fear or I feel are inadequacies.
Right.
It's like, man, I live a freaking good life.
Yeah. Well, when I feel inadequate, I just look at Drew and I'm like, okay, he's right there with me. That makes me feel like if I can get somebody else on my level, I feel a lot better.
Yeah, exactly, right.
So, and it's true. Like if
surrounding yourself with those people is important.
You're sad and scared right now. I've been there. I get it. It makes sense to me. And we're going to talk about it. And that helps. That makes it understandable.
Because then it's like, you know what?
Was it that big of a deal?
I can get through it.
Yeah. Exactly. And was it that big of a deal?
Yeah.
It happened for a reason. I'm okay. I'm okay right now.
Yep.
And just recognizing it as, you know what, that's part of this human experience. Going through fears, going through anxieties, going through, times of feeling inadequate. That's all part of it, man. And it's the beautiful parts of it because that's where the growth lives.
And then when you do get healthy and feel good, and you go, that person cares about me. That person cares about me. And if I weren't around right now, it would hurt them. Am I willing to do that?
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, it's worth thinking about. We forget that in those hard times. We forget that other people care.
It's the struggle really in life is what gives a lot of things like true value and meaning is the struggling of the process and getting through it. And when you do and you look back, you're like, I didn't think I could do that, but I did. And that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And you look at things that way and you're like, okay, this is hard right now, even in just a day-to-day work or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you just stack things on top of each other and you're like, I can do this. Like we all can do it.
The hardest thing for me is the overwhelming part.
Right.
And just not trying to take it all at once. Just break it down and say, okay, in the next 5 minutes, what can I do to move forward? You know, with an issue or with whatever. What can I do in the next 5 and then the next 5?
Yep.
And then pretty soon you get on a roll. You're like, all right, I'm executing. I'm good. I'm good to go.
Yep. And it's an hour and then it's
But that's a learned behavior.
It is.
It doesn't come natural most of the time.
It takes work to do that.
It does.
To make it a habit and make it second nature. It just doesn't happen overnight.
I have a lot of empathy for those who are kind of starting out at Mountain because it can get overwhelming.
Right.
I remember when I went to the counter for the first time, I was so overwhelmed. You know, the people standing in front of you, expecting you to know the answers to their questions. And you're like, man, I'm a greenhorn. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I will greet you with a smile and I will try.
Yep.
And
that's
answer,
all they want.
That answer that you just gave, I don't know, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
I've never had a customer get upset with us for that.
That's all they want.
Yeah.
They just want effort on their behalf.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you know what? I got an ally in this. We'll get through it together.
And you start here at Mountain Land and you walk through one of our stores and you look in the warehouse and go, this is unbelievably overwhelming. I'm supposed to know what this part is and how to pull it and how to get it on a truck. And then you want me to count correctly on top of that? That's a big ask.
And then they want to ask me how it goes together?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I got no idea.
That's overwhelming. That's stressful. But it's okay to say I don't know.
Yeah.
And there is somebody at Mountain Land in your store next to you on the counter that has the answer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And sometimes the customer has the answer if you ask them.
Yeah. Oh, all the time. And they love teaching.
And they'll walk through that warehouse with you and help you pull a ticket and show you where the product is if you ask them to.
Yeah. My grandpa, I remember, my grandpa is a very religious man, and he and I were in a class one time, and he was teaching it. And a couple they'd gone through, divorce. One of their children had passed away, and they were asking about eternity, and, hey, what's going to happen after this? And so me and my young indulgence, I was like 21, and I was like, oh, well, this is what will probably happen, And it came to my grandpa, and he just said, you know what? In times like this, I found it most easy to say I don't know. Mm-hmm. And that, for a guy that I thought knew everything, and I was trying to impress him, he just said, I don't know. And that the entire mood changed, and everybody's like, oh, well, if he doesn't know and he's 90 years old and has all this knowledge, then it's okay for me not to know.
Yep.
And then everybody in the room is like, well, yeah, I don't know either. That's like, and I learned that at a very young age. Like, there's a power in telling people, letting them serve you and be like, hey. And so you ask Bruce. I mean, he is a financier. He's a freaking wizard, and I am not. I'm not a financial wizard. I'm trying a lot. I try hard, but there will be times every single day where I'll be like, slow down for the dum-dum. Can you tell me what that means? And they'll be like, oh yeah, it means this, because he'll use an acronym I'm unfamiliar with, or he'll dive into some balance sheet. And I'm like, for the dum-dum in the room, what does that even mean? And more times than not, somebody else was in my same position and just didn't have the courage to say that they didn't know either.
And people love to teach.
And then everybody grows.
Yeah. And people love to teach. Let somebody teach you. Yeah. People know more than us.
And let yourself be taught.
Yeah,
know that's beautiful.
We don't have to reinvent the wheel here at Mountain Land. I say it all the time. Somebody already knows. We just have to find the person that knows. We don't have to come up with a new process. Somebody already knows.
Yeah. So. And in times of personal need,
sure,
I think that's important too, because there's so many people here who have gone through so many different experiences in life. You're a great example. You're a great example. Spencer's a great example. They would love to tell you how to get through that.
Wouldn't it be neat to hear everybody's story at Mountain Land? If we could openly be honest about our hardships and our trials and what actually scared us when we were little and we would have a great understanding of why everybody is the way they are.
That's the beauty of people.
And it would be much more accepting.
It would be, because you realize that, you know, we're all a bunch of freaking lizards at the end of the day. You know, we all go through the same stuff.
Yep.
But there's none of us that are an exception to that. Every single person, the person you think is the most successful person in the world, has struggles.
Yep.
You know,
We all do.
They do.
yeah. There was again another video that I was watching. Tom Hanks, you've probably seen this one, where they asked him, what do you wish you knew when you were younger? And he said, I wish I knew this too shall pass.
Right.
You know, if you're struggling,
Yep.
this too shall pass. If you're on top of the world, this too shall pass.
Yep.
You know, so don't get so comfortable in the moment that you're not willing to learn, and you're not willing to see that long-term perspective of this isn't forever.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how dark this looks right now, it's not going to be forever.
I try to look back at some of the experiences I went through and go, I was actually okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
I was
okay.
safe. Yeah.
I was safe. I had food. I had,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that at the time, for sure. I thought all was lost,
Oh, yeah.
And you get that guilt and shame is what I think drives a lot of our behaviors.
Totally.
It just drives us to do things that we wouldn't normally do. And if we live in that guilt and shame, we behave out of that guilt and shame. But if we live in peace and happiness, we behave a whole lot differently.
Yeah.
So,
It's amazing how that works.
yeah.
And it's universal.
And everybody does it. We're not special.
No, we're not.
We all do it.
From the beginning of time,
Yep.
you know, recorded
sure.
history, everybody's going through the same stuff.
Yeah, and we do it at work, and we do it at home with our families and with our kids, our significant others. We all. Drew's been over at the house, and he'll attest that Brian gets frustrated and closes his mouth and walks out in the garage. And it's because that's the third time today we've argued over the color white. I don't know. It doesn't even make sense. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Isn't it so funny, the stuff that we trip over?
Oh, yeah.
You know, it really is.
Yeah.
It's like, man, are we really arguing over that?
I've got to prove to my wife that this paint is actually white, and it might not be to her, but I really got to get her to see it from my
No,
perspective.
that's snowy white.
Right. Or off-white.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's not it. You're not seeing it, Brian.
No, apparently not.
And that's when I'm just like, you know what? Keys are in it. You drive. I'm good.
Yeah, then you
It
kind of
doesn't
have
mean
that
that much
moment
to
where
me.
you walk out in the garage and go, I was literally arguing over white
Yeah.
paint.
Yeah.
I put emotion and energy into that.
I know.
That wasn't worth it.
That's the part that I get to. It's like, man, I spent a lot of energy on that argument.
Yeah.
And what did it gain?
And if you're like me, I can leave the argument and I can keep it going in my head.
Oh, all the time.
Responses, things to come up. Oh, I could have said this.
What?
And
Oh, I wish I would have said that.
it'll play over and
would've
over.
had
That dumb person at Dairy Queen. I can't
Yep.
believe they didn't put more Snickers in my Blizzard. You
Yeah.
know, just deep anger issues.
I mean, that's something to really be pissed
Well, that's why I'm
about.
still angry about it. I'm bringing it up now.
That was a year ago.
You know what, though, is impactful.
It was.
It was a
That
big
is
deal.
impactful.
It is.
Yeah.
What else would you like to say, Drew?
I think we're covered a lot of it. I just, if there's anybody out there in our Mountain End community, or that husbands, wives, brothers, sisters that they know are struggling, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Brian. Like, it's became
Any of us.
right? Anybody. It's part of my why, and like that, I believe very strongly in that, and that I'm more than willing to talk or help or give advice and go in more depth about what I went through and how I got out of it. And I just don't want people to feel that way, that they're alone.
Yeah.
Because especially in our company, we have so many good people and so many good resources that I just want people to know that.
Totally. There are also, Kim McClaws had sent out something earlier this week talking about professional resources that you as employees of Mountland have access to.
Right.
And use them. Use them. If you're going through a hard time, do not let that last.
Yep.
You know, and if it's too shameful or too hard to talk to somebody that you know, talk to somebody that you don't know.
Exactly.
Who gets paid to do it really well.
Right.
And I found throughout time it's easier to admit to somebody that I don't know as well or love or respect. And sometimes the perspective that's given to me from that individual is more powerful than somebody who I thought I was closer to.
Well, because they care so much about you, the one that's close to you, and they don't want to hurt you again.
Right. They don't. And
So
the
they'll
person
pull things from you.
who doesn't know you quite as well is going to be realistic and tell you maybe something from their own experience, and it might knock me out of something that I did not expect to get that from that person.
Yeah. Isn't that a weird thing? And we kind of touched on it earlier, but those who we're closest to, we hold the most from sometimes.
We're afraid to let them know we hurt.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's their opinion that matters the most to you. That's why.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Because of course, you want them to see you in the best way because
You
they
don't
want to
wanna
be
disappoint
in
'em.
your life for a long time.
Sure.
You don't. That's why they're harder. to
And the
open
other
up
the
to.
other relationship seen as more disposable.
Yeah, and
Or
if you're talking
transactional.
about like a professional therapist or something, it's unbiased, supposed to be. You
Sure.
can just go say your inner thoughts out loud for the first time. It's a nice thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's very good. See, that's why Spencer's so good to have around.
He is.
There's
Very
value.
wise.
Perspective, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
He sits there and listens, and then
He's a smooth
interjects at
operator, dude.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm seeing some real genius there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
He would not shortchange you on your Snickers. I guarantee it.
definitely not.
Yeah, you would
He
make
cares.
a great Dairy Queen Blizzard maker.
Yeah, he cares.
Unquestionable.
Okay, I think I got a new career path.
A side job, dude. You ain't leaving us.
Yeah,
Trust me.
I'll just bring Dairy Queen here.
Yeah,
Let's acquire one.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Drew, thank you so much,
Yeah.
bud. Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
the courage to step out and ask to do this, and thank you for pushing me and Brian and Spencer to do it. You
Sure.
know, these are the topics that we need to talk about more often and allow people to have it be more of the norm.
Right.
So thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you.
And thanks for sharing your story.
Yep.
Brian, thank you for sharing your story too, bud.
Thank you. And
Appreciate
anybody who has the courage to reach out to Drew, I'm going to say is not going to. They're not going to find a more understanding person who's capable of listening and responding in an emotionally mature way.
Yeah.
They won't be disappointed if they have the courage to reach out.
Yeah. So don't hesitate, guys. Anybody that's out there that's hurting or unsure or whatever, talk to somebody.
Yep.
And if it's one of us, that's fine too.
Yep.
So thanks everybody for jumping in. Enjoy the ride. We'll see you down the road.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.